Well, despite the city's increasing population, Sioux Falls police say the crime rate here is not increasing in the same way. Brian Allen joining us live from the First Alert Now desk with more on this report. Hey, Brian.
Hello there, Sam. It is not surprising to think that crime would go up as an area's population goes up, but that is not happening when it comes to most of the crime in Sioux Falls, at least when you compare 2023 with previous years. According to a police department analysis, rates for murder, rape, assault, robbery, and burglary all saw lower rates of occurrence last year when compared with previous years. But that is not the case with all crime. The number of stolen cars is going up. In most cases, the cars are unlocked. And police say last year they seized a record amount of fentanyl here in the city.
And supply is plentiful. We can seize record amounts. It'll still be in our community, and I want you to talk to your young people in particular about what the effects of fentanyl are and how that translates. Because you see in our next slide
how it translates in Sioux Falls, drug overdoses increasing again, 72 reported in the city last year, along with 16 drug-related deaths. So while there is a decided decrease in some crime in the city, the numbers released today show that drug-related crime isn't just a problem, it is once again a growing problem. Live at the First Alert Now desk, Brian Allen, Dakota News Now.
Brian, thank you.